Hey everyone, good evening. Already have 7 people with us on a Friday evening. Hi Vijay, hi Ninad, hi Dinesh. So, how was your last working day of the week? I hope you had a good week and I hope you're looking forward to the weekend, especially I am. Had a hectic week at work. I couldn't really spend much time posting charts on Twitter. How was your week? Do let me know in the comment section. And I think India is batting well now. Let's see if we can post some good runs on the board, and then probably might do well. But how was the trading day? I'd like to know more about that. If anyone has really changed your trading style in the last 1 month, or if you have really started correcting your mistakes, do let me know. Like, I would be really happy to know how many of you are actually improving your trading style and sticking to your stop losses and all that. Okay, Dinesh is asking me if you're on cricket. I have no idea who's going to win the match, but as usual, no one knows what will happen. But I think till now, at least, 43 for 0 is a good score after the first innings disaster, as usual. And I think, both Rohit and KL Rahul are playing well. So that's my that's my take. So both match and Nifty ended with a green candle. Hey Mukta, hello. Yeah, but unfortunately, we have just 4 people who is with us. It's just even if 4 people are with us. Probably we'll wait for a minute or so and then we can start. Okay. Ninad is saying trading day not so good. Kabra stop loss hit. Added VBL. Okay. VBL was you should have added around 800 odd levels, right? But Kabra, why did your stop loss hit? Were you too aggressive? Did you keep your stop at 240? It hasn't even dipped below. I think your stop loss was just too aggressive, maybe. If your stop loss is hit today, I wouldn't have kept the stop loss at 240 if you had kept it 240. We can discuss that. And Varun Beverages, yeah, the time was to, if you had to add, I think it's a good time to add even now. It's okay, but the best time was to add was here. I think we discussed this also. 800 levels was the time to add. It was a perfect, not a VCP, but a nice base with a strong horizontal boundary. But yeah, it's picking up pace now. So let's see where this goes. 8 people have joined us. Hey Drumat. Krishnavani is saying portfolio is doing great. Good. Hi Prakash. Yes, 240 was really aggressive, Ninad. I don't keep at that point. It's just too aggressive. Stop loss management using low time frame is you're learning. Good, but don't go below hourly time frame. Especially if you're a swing trader or position trader, don't go below hourly time frame. Try to stick to hourly time frame so that you get that room, for a good movement. And especially if you are trading some really fast moving stocks, then you should probably go to the like how we trailed LXCHEM, right? So LXCHEM, our stop loss is right now at 430, and that's how we trail it. But we waited for a dip, and after the dip confirmed, and then we crossed the previous high. That's when we trail our stop loss. Okay, I think a lot of people having party today. We just have 8 people till now, but I'll be more than happy to take some of your questions today. Less people means less stock questions, more strategy questions. So if you want, we can discuss something interesting if you have any questions. Okay, so feel free, just 9 people, so just post your questions regarding anything you probably want. You feel that your stop losses are being hit, or you have a stock which is in deep stop, so losses, what do you want to do, or anything like that. Okay, yeah, Mukta says a lot of learning. Vijay also did, like, 240 wasn't a stop loss, guys, so you shouldn't have kept your stop loss at 240 for Cabra. Okay, entered in market last year, Dinesh says, but never had the temperament to hold the stocks in ups and downs. First time seeing 40% up in one of my portfolio stock. Thanks for changing my trading style. Really happy to know, Dinesh, but we're not 40% up. We're actually more than 100% up, around 100% up in our first position. So 280 to almost 500. Yeah, but otherwise, yeah, I'm really happy to know, and I hope everyone is learning. The thing is, there might be phases where you might give up on those habits to keep it, to stick to your stop loss, and that phase is when, especially when markets have been doing well for the last 1 week, and when market starts falling, that's when it really tests your patience. and all your stock, you might have seen probably 10-15% in a week, and suddenly the 10-15% would go down to 7-8%, and it's that time when you will have a real problem on when how you react to that kind of situation. And that's very important. That phase when the market is going down is very, very important. And even we faced losses, and today I thought I'll just show you how our journey has been, and then we can go from there. Okay. Yeah. So I'll just show you the our account, how we started. So we started with 1 lakh the 13th of July, so almost 2 months since we started. And I'm really happy that I've seen a lot of guys, you've been regular to this video, and I'm really happy that I've been able to help you all. Now from 1 lakh, if you see, we dipped to 97,000. Let's just watch the account value number there. We dipped to 97,000, so that's a 3% dip in the portfolio, or 3% drawdown in the portfolio. Then from there we went all the way up to 1.04, and then from 1.04 again we dipped to 98, right? So that was a week, I think, when the markets dipped. So from 1.04 we lost around 6% of our overall portfolio, right? So drawdown in this case was around 6 or 5 to 6%, and then from here 98 we've just been having a one-way move up, right? Especially the last few days, right? So if you see, majority of returns have come from the 27th of from the 26th 27th of August, and we've been having a really smooth move till now. Now even if today our stop loss is hit, we are still, will not still go back to the 98,000. We'll still be around 3% up in overall portfolio, which is just fine. You can't catch the bottoms, you can't catch the tops, and that's, if you're trying to do that, then you might not make really good money in a good bull market. Like, I know so many people who have sold off some really good stocks early. Even I did sell a couple of stocks early, but then it shouldn't dent your portfolio if you're selling off early. You should have the guts to come back inside into the stocks that you won't really own. So from an investment perspective, right now is not a good time to add some of the stocks which have gone up already 5x 10x like that. But you can look at stocks which are just breaking out from multi-year breakouts, like we've had discussed. All the stocks in my newsletter are stocks which are breaking out from multi-year consolidations, and you might want to look at those stocks because there will always be some stocks moving in any kind of market, right? So even in a bear market, you will find at least 15-20 stocks moving up, and that's always because of money which keeps rotating around these stocks, right? So there should be somewhere, there should be some stocks which are doing well. It's just that, can we find those stocks, and are we willing to take that risk even when the markets are down? And that's how you should be trading. That's how your trading style should be, or investing style should be. So let's start with today's session. So let's start with Nifty. So Nifty again had an amazing move. This run has been just crazy. So since the breakout we had, since this breakout we had, we've been up. Nifty is almost up 8-9%, right? That's a crazy move, and that's all that has happened just in 1 month. And no one expected this, but the key takeaway for you should be, when we have such consolidations and such consolidations break out, try to ride the trend as much as possible. In whatever time frame you're trading, you should be able to ride such trends as good as possible. So this week I have a special video which is coming up. Sorry, not this week, but probably during the next week. In the beginning of the week or the middle of the week, I'll post a nice video on something that I'm trying. I'm learning a lot. I'll not disclose it here, otherwise the suspense gets lost. We will discuss on how to do trend following in some of the most complex instruments that we have. Again, that's purely my learning. I'm still learning. Don't take me as a good trader in that. It takes time to master some difficult instruments. So but yeah, the point is, whatever instrument you're trading, whatever time frame you're trading, when you do trend following, I think that really rewards you very well. Like, even if you had multiple losses here, this one trend could have, a couple of trades here on the hourly time frame could have made you really good money. So that should be a learning in all last 1.5 months. And in case you're really afraid, then aggressively trail your stop, but don't sell off quickly, right? So that's the point I wanted to discuss. Otherwise, Nifty had a green candle today, weekly, another amazing candle. So last week, 2 weeks, we had kind of a range bound market, but then again we had a beautiful weekly closing. Now this, probably, we are running up very fast, I feel, and this consolidation might happen sometime soon. So we can expect some consolidation of a few weeks before we head much higher from here. But remember, the trend is still up, and in terms of possibilities, I'm just going to draw one channel here just to show you the possibilities, right? So this is you see, this is a channel that you can see here, right? So that is a perfect channel on the top, and then you connect these two lines and you have a perfect down channel. Now, in terms of possibilities, Nifty can head much higher. No one knows. Even if you just keep this upper end of the channel, it's around 20,000 targets. So that's around 3,000 points from here, or probably a 20, around another 10-15% move from here, right? So 2,700 points from here, right? So, but I'm not sure whether it'll go there. It's just a prediction based on this channel that we are seeing, right? So we did start correcting from here. We came here, then we had a move again. We corrected to the channel, and then we are heading higher. Now this is the log scale. I'm just zooming in so that you can see my video is not obstructing, hopefully. But this is a beautiful channel, and we may consolidate here, or probably we might head higher, then come back, around 70,000 levels. But for now, I think the levels of 7,000 is just history. I don't think we'll ever see levels of 7,000 again. And I just want to remind you of the long-term charts as well, right? So I've been posting this chart for quite some time, and I just remind you of this as well. So this was the breakout, back in here we had a breakout in 2005 after this Harshit Mehta rally. Then from 2005, if you see, we had a swift move, and markets went up almost 170%. Nifty alone went up almost 200%, right? And then we had a dip all the way back to that level. So that dip again is a crazy dip. So we had a 60% dip all the way down, and then from here again we've gone up. Now what has happened after that? Most of you already know this. I've covered this multiple times. We've kind of again broken out. So this is the other channel that I'm looking at, right? Since this top, right? So we had a dip here and we had a dip here. So we have broken out the channel, and at 13,000 is when we broke out, and we are just around 17,000. So I'm expecting still a much, good ride from here, probably for the next 1 year or so, and then we might probably, have a good dip. But for now, we should be riding the trend as I am doing, and stay invested. Don't just pull out your investments just because you think that the markets are, have run up a lot. Market doesn't care about our opinions. Markets care only about who has the money and who's willing to push the index up, right? So that should be your key learning by now. If you haven't learned it, it's still high time, or it's still not late. They say better late than never. So it's still a good time to learn such that you should be riding the trend rather than trying to predict the markets. Okay. So getting into the Nifty view. So today we had again a gap up, and then we kind of had a dip all the way down, till the previous highs, right? So again, that's the previous highs. So we had a dip all the way back there, and then we kind of again, dipped again. So that's the level that we watch out for now, because we had 2 times. So first we dipped here, then we kind of gapped up, we dipped again, we dipped again, but we managed to head higher. I think Reliance is really woken up, and the king is really doing its job. The motor is really doing the job for the market, right? So the strength will remain because Reliance has just broken out. It's hit all-time high again after almost 1 year, right? It's been 1 year since exactly Reliance hit all-time high. So a good closing for the day. I think any dips towards 70,300 can be bought, and shorting now, we should be shorting only below 70,200 levels or 210 levels. So until this level is not taken out, you don't have to really short. Don't look for shorts, but look for longs, right? So always the trend is still clearly up, right? So we said the only point we talked about a short was here, because this was a breakdown on the 5 minutes time frame. So we kind of had a low high low low formation, and then we kind of had again a long position here, and that long is still continuing, and it's heading higher. So the trend is very strong on all time frames. So you don't have to look for shorts, probably look for longs, any dips towards this level or even this level, right? Let's take a look at Reliance chart before we head into any other stock. Okay. So Reliance, yeah, that's the move. It has moved 4% today, and we have crossed all-time highs. Now, I'm not sure how many of you have seen it, but after the AGM, I did post. So this was, the AGM happened somewhere here, then we had a crazy fall, right? Now, after the AGM, a lot of people would have panicked and kind of, would have probably sold off their stocks. But if you're looking from an investment perspective, this was a clear bottom sign, right? Because we had this doji here. Remember, I told you demand wicks, the stock can come all the way and again test it again, right? But when it reverses from that zone again, that zone is going to prove a very like a very strong support zone. And I did mention that if you're an investor, unless this holds, you don't have to really worry about your holdings in Reliance. And now what we have done is we have also taken out the previous highs, right? So we've crossed above the previous highs, we've closed above the previous highs. So any dips in Reliance also can be bought even for short-term investments if you want, short-term swing trades. Now the momentum looks strong and there's nothing to worry, and Reliance can really hold the market up going forward. Okay, because this is again a 1 year breakout, exactly 1 year since we topped in September last year, right? So last year September 7th is when we topped, and again this year in September, sorry, August, we are almost in September, right, this week. So it's really a good move, and this can hold the market really well. Now just taking a look at HDFC Bank. Now HDFC Bank also is kind of consolidating. Again, if you see, we have very strong supports around the zone, and I don't think it'll easily break the zone. Even though Bank Nifty is an underperformer, the stock can go sideways for many years. Just like how Reliance went from 2008 until 16, just Reliance went sideways, right? So the same thing can happen in bank. You never know, but I'm just saying, don't expect stock like HDFC Bank to crash. I don't think that will happen. It's one of the leading banks in India. I don't think the market operators would leave that to happen. So, but still, this is also consolidating. It's been just going sideways for many months now. It might continue, but if we break probably 1640 levels, then probably we can head higher. Right? Just taking a look at Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty is looking very strong. It has finally, kind of broken out from that resistance there, and I think this might also do well going forward. I think some of the banks like ICICI Bank might lift the Bank Nifty index, right? So again, it's a nice inverted head and shoulders, not a perfect one, but yeah, inverted head and shoulders, and then we had a breakout and we're just going sideways. Okay, some stocks from the banking spaces. One stock that I like to look at is Axis Bank. It has a nice long inverted head and shoulders, and we have closed at almost close to all-time high again. So I think this could be a very good short-term or a swing trade as well. So the stop loss, as you know, it's a swing low, so that's also one of the good setups that you can be looking at if you want to really have a safe investment, not a safe investment, but more of a large cap investment, a blue chip stock investment. Then this also looks good. So probably 700 levels can act as a stop, and you can go in this also. Okay, so yeah, we're back to 32 people, so I think we'll have a lot of questions. Thanks everyone for joining me on a Friday again. So let's look at some of the questions. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't finish the trade to investor. I completely missed that. Okay, so let's look at the stocks for that we are holding. So portfolio was kind of up 0.2, 0.3%. So minor move up. Again, Fortis was down yesterday, and today Fortis is up, while all other stocks were up yesterday, and most of them are down today, right? So yeah, nonetheless, I think we are still good. We are around 11% up, and 300 rupees, was the gain today, or 0.3%. So just looking at the stocks on the weekly basis, LXCHEM has done really well. It closed the week really good. That probably is a pause to continuous dojis that we have had, and yeah, just looking at the volumes are dipping because of the less moves that's happening right now. So our stop continues to be at 430. So even if you go to hourly charts, you see a dip there. Probably if this high is taken out, then probably we can move a stop, but I need the high to be taken out first. Right now, if you move your stop already to 480, it's very aggressive. Wait for this high to be taken out, and if it goes higher, then we can probably move our stop to 480 odd. Okay, then we can lock some good profits. Next stock is Fortis. Yeah, Fortis has again reversed. If you remember, our stop is around 269, and yeah, it's just a dip, and we have closed again above. We had a good day today. So on the daily charts, yeah, I think this dip is probably complete, and today was a decent volume, not a very good volume, but a decent volume. And on the weekly charts, we're just having 2 weeks of consolidation, nothing much to worry, and I think probably we might head higher in this stock as well. Okay, Cummins, after a move yesterday, it's just kind of consolidating. Probably will retest 1008, 1010 levels, so that's the level to watch out for. And on the weekly charts, yeah, after 2 weeks of sideways, we have a good green candle, but still I prefer it to close above 1035. It didn't close, but still nothing to worry. Again, on the hourly charts, I think if we cross the highs again, then we can probably move a stop here. Okay, we'll wait for that. We're not doing anything now. So TATALXSI, again, the attempt to move yesterday high failed, and probably we just had an entire day inside that previous candle. So inside bar again, so kind of an inside bar. So probably if you have another inside bar, then remember a strategy, you should go long above the previous high, right? So on the weekly charts, again a doji, sign of pause. So many people look at dojis and and they say the stock might crash and all that. I don't really believe that. So if a stock has a doji after moving very strong, it's just a sign of pause in the trend, which is probably if it was moving up before and there's a doji, it's just a pause of the previous trend, and probably it can come down, no one knows, but the probability of that trend continuing is much higher. For example, if you see we had a doji here, right, and then we kind of crossed above that point, and if you see the low 3532, we never went below 3532, right? But moment that inside bar, so this was inside bar, next inside bar, a third inside bar, then we kind of went high all the way up, right? So here if you see we went below that dip, but this was just 1 week of inside bar. So usually inside bar, if you have 3 weeks, something like this, right, 1, 2 and 3, then probably that's a good thing to consider for trading. Okay, so TATALXSI also looks good. So all the stocks they're holding looks good, no shuffling, nothing. Just continue to hold, and let's see where this portfolio goes. I already mentioned if a stop loss is hit today, we'll be up 3.5% around, and just keep holding, don't do anything unless some stop loss hits. Just chill, take a focus on your work and just relax and let your portfolio do what it wants to do. Your stop loss is already placed in the order section. Ensure that your stop loss is in place, and give probably a 0.3%, 0.4% difference between the trigger price and the actual price. Here I've given just 1 rupee. Probably you can increase this to even 95. Just keep 5 rupees difference. It's up to you how you want to do it. Probably a bigger portfolio, you need to have a bigger difference, because that many shares, when it gets triggered GTT, you need to have some difference, at least 0.1, 0.2%, 0.3%. Okay, we're not trading Bank Nifty, so you don't have to really worry. We're just trading stocks, so all good here. I've seen a lot of discussions on Twitter today, but I just stay away from Bank Nifty. It's just not worth trading Bank Nifty, I feel. Okay, so yeah, let's look at your questions now. So what do we have? Amrish is asking my view on Kolte Patel and Gabriel. I think we covered this yesterday, right? So Kolte Patel was having a beautiful inverted head and shoulders on excellent setup, and it's about to break out, right? It's a very, very good setup. So nothing to worry, just take the trade. It crossed almost the previous high, so you can take the trade even on Monday. In fact, if the fundamentals are good, I might even consider this stock in the newsletter, right? So I'm going to make a note of this for my newsletter, so that if the fundamentals are good, probably this goes in my newsletter. Okay, yeah, it's a good setup. It's a beautiful inverted head and shoulders. That I wrote an article on this. I mentioned this today as well. This could be a bottom, a major bottom in this stock, and this could be just a new trend which is just starting, and probably you can see levels of 400 already in the short term, right? And the move can be really quick because the volumes have been very good. So probably most of the supply is absorbed, and more than what is required is absorbed maybe, and we can see a quick move here. Okay, so that's my view. Gabriel again, let's look at it. Yeah, Gabriel also has an inverted head and shoulders, right? Again, we spoke about this, I think. Yeah, it's just consolidating there, and we said you can take, because the trendline support is acting nicely, so you can take a trade. The downtrend is over. It is again trying to form an inverted head and shoulders. Both setups look fantastic. Now some stocks might not move very fast. Let's just take an example of Rain Industries. You had to wait. Rain Industries, if you wanted to really make money, you had to wait for some time. So even though there was this nice inverted head and shoulders breakout, it came and tested almost the previous swing low, and then it started moving very slowly. So you need to have patience in some stocks, but remember, inverted head and shoulders patterns almost signal it's the end of a downtrend. Okay, so these are high probability setups, and it works beautifully. Even if you just trade inverted head and shoulders after a bear market, I think that alone will make you very good money. Okay, so that's my take. We're just saying so many stocks to pick from, how to prioritize, right? So keep your GTTs above. You've seen how we prioritize. We keep GTTs, and whichever stock triggers, we let the market decide which stock it wants to pick up, and then let the market decide. So if you have 5 stocks, one thing is look for nice patterns, look for clear patterns. If you don't find a clear pattern, just ignore that stock. I prefer to have nice boundaries, right? So for example, this is a nice boundary, right? So that shows at that level, if it crossed, probably a bottom is done. For example, Kolte Patel is a very good setup, right? Now I know that here, if the stock crosses 285, it's the chances of me making returns is very high. Now returns may come slow, returns may come fast, but then you control it through a pyramid, right? So if it doesn't move fast, you will not pyramid. But if it moves fast and if it consolidates again and moves fast, then you pyramid, right? So that's how you do it. For example, let's take rain, right? So rain, when it broke out from here, right? So it broke out from here. Now the first position was here. Now second position probably would have come only at this point, right? And then again we had a massive trend. So almost for 2-3 months you would just be sitting idle in the stock, right? So then you move your stop here, then you move your stop here probably, right? Sorry, you add more there, you add more there. So this was a very good position to add because the risk was really less, right? So I look for really low risk setup. So probably at this point, I didn't have really added because the stop was too deep for me, right? I'll look for a very small stop loss and probably add and then see if I can probably in this trendline reversal I would have added more, right? Or in this reversal I would have added more. So you need to find your way of how you want to pyramid the stocks and how you want to decide and let the market decide how it wants to, whether it wants to take this stock A or stock B. Okay. Hey Shankar, Krishna says I'm switching from cancel sell strategy to a trading style, but initial stop loss is high. Initial stop loss is high. It's really less. In fact, some of the stocks they're trading is hardly 4%. I think LXCHEM was a 5% stop or something like that. And many stocks that we picked, maximum stop loss is 10%. So I'm not sure from where you got that notion, but my initial stop loss is not high. It's in fact one of the lowest. For me, according to me, anything below 10% is pretty good stop loss. Okay. So yeah, psychology adjustments is required if you want to trade my style. So you need to really have the psychology to accept losses because you might have regular losses when your stop loss is around 7%. Not regular losses, but yeah, you might in a down market, right? When you start off, let's say you're just starting off in a down market, a bear market, then you will hit stop losses. So it is not so easy, but once you get a hang of it, you will see that it's a good strategy to follow. But yeah, it takes time, so nothing comes easy. So you spend 16-20 years learning and then you go for a job. In markets, people expect that they come and immediately start earning money. It's not possible. If it was that easy, if it were that easy, then everyone would be trading in markets, right? Anyways, yeah, if you have any questions related to psychology, you can ask me. I'll be more than happy to help. Okay, so someone asked Gujarat, Timis Bison, Devabrata. So again, nice. This was a beautiful breakout here, consolidation breakout. Again, nice consolidation breakout. So it's a trending stock, Devabrata. So you just want to probably, hold on to this and this can really move well. So just have some patience. And if you're already holding good, if you're not holding, then it's also a good time to buy. Probably once it crosses the previous high 465, probably could be a point that you can add. Right? It's just probably forming an ascending triangle pattern, and it might head higher soon. But again, a circuit stock, so just be careful always, as I say. Yes, you need a little more confidence in scaling in as well, Krishnavani. That's very important. That's the key. Okay, so let's look at a few more questions. A lot of comments today. Same happened with me. Took Timken last Friday and today sold cost to cost as sitting patience. Okay, that's up to you, Zrumat, how you want to do it. Exit strategy, can you explain when falling low formation daily time frame, drawdown sometimes more than 12-15% from the peak? You can't catch every moves at the Kumuragiri. You need to give 12-15%. There's no one who can sell consistently at the top, and there's no one who can buy consistently at the bottom. So it's it needs some patience. It needs your psychology should accept that you will lose 12-15%. So today, if LXCHEM drops from 490 to 430, I'm still losing 15%. So it's just totally fine, and that's how markets are. But remember, you're trying to make as much gains as possible. So it's totally normal. I don't see unless you are doing swing trading, then you can book at 2 hour 3 hour of your risk, but there's no other way out. Okay. Aditya says VIP, RIL and Mastech looks good. Yes, I think we covered VIP Industries yesterday, Aditya. It does look really good. It also was one of the stock picks from my portfolio, from my newsletter. It's just consolidating and it's just about to cross previous highs, right? It already has done 2 times attempt. Volumes have been very good, so it's just about a matter of time. So Reliance I already covered. Just do a pullback, playback, and you would see. Mastech also is a good stock. Again, it's forming a nice base. It reversed from the trend line. It's just a matter of time before it heads higher, right? So this is a nice tight consolidation, and then it broke out here on this day with amazing volumes, and it's just continuing. So again, a very good setup. Hey Suman, Rishi, what's your view on IDFC? IDFC First Bank is horrible. To be honest, the stock is in a crazy downtrend. Right? It's in a crazy downtrend. So the short-term trend looks really weak for me. I would not really buy this until this trend is broken out. There are so many other stocks for you to look at. Don't form biases and stick to stocks. Stick to a strategy that you're comfortable with. Probably it's a parallel channel. You never know, but it can probably head higher and come back lower as well. So don't buy this right now. Okay, I don't buy it at least. So my view is that it's bad. The stock structure looks bad. I'm not sure about the company. Yeah, so when that's a good view. LG equipment for swing. Let's check. Yes, probably. It is still not broken the previous swing low. It's just right on the previous swing low. So probably a good trade for swing. But yeah, your stop for this should be the previous swing low, which is around 191. Okay, so good setup, 9 rupees stop, and yeah, it probably might head higher again. It's just a long consolidation that's happening. Okay, if you have always, as I say, go to the weekly charts again. If you see a green candle again, so probably it's reversing, right? So yeah, and also on the long-term charts, it looks amazing. It has been in a very long-term uptrend, right? So it could be a good swing trade, but I don't do swings, you know that. Can analyze Yash Pakka, Ashish, not able to make sense of any trend. Yes, I have not heard of this stock, to be honest. Yeah, the trend is sideways. It's just going sideways. So if you draw a straight line, and if everything is around that, it's straightforward. It's trending sideways. So the trend is so after the massive move up, it is just going sideways, and you need to probably wait for some time. Okay, so it's a rectangle consolidation. It might take some more time before it heads higher. Suhas, in banking sector, Canara Bank is sitting up nicely. Yes, Suhas, we covered Canara Bank yesterday. It has an amazing setup. On the weekly charts, I did tell you, I've already drawn this here. I did tell that this is inverted head and shoulders, and on the weekly charts, it has broken out this week. If you see, it's been a tight consolidation since the month of June, and this week probably is a reversal candle. It has volumes have been, I think, almost a 2-3 month high volumes as well this week. Okay, so overall looks very good. Someone is asking, can I get privileged to join a WhatsApp group? Sorry, I don't have a WhatsApp group. Telegram group is the only group that I have. PNB goes up in this week. Is it a good time to enter for long term? Rishi, long term, you already know that I don't believe in long term, short term, and all that. If a stop loss hits, get out. It's simple as that. So you can enter a stock. Probably the PSU Bank is bottomed out maybe, but this still I prefer entering Canara Bank than this, because setup in Canara Bank is much better. So that's how, Vijay, this also answers the question. How do you prioritize? Now this setup here doesn't really look good to me. I don't understand the setup, right? I don't understand the pattern here. It's just a parallel channel, and probably the stock can face resistance when it comes here, right? And probably can go down as well. But the strongest stock is SBI if you're looking at the PSU banking, and next is Canara Bank, just because of the pattern. Also, there's a major resistance zone here as well, right? So I'd probably head towards 70 odd levels, but Canara Bank is something that I always prefer. And long-term investment, there's nothing long-term investment. If your stop loss hits, just get out. Okay. Okay, are there any plan to start learning video series? Yes, I am planning to start. It's just that I have to get some time. But it's in my mind. Rajesh is asking, so hello, so your view on Gujarat Gas, IDB Bank. Gujarat Gas is, I think it's almost done with the consolidation. It's just been consolidating the last 5 weeks. Right, on the daily charts, if you look at the daily charts, it is close to a trend line support, but I'm not sure if it will reverse. Right, so it's right at the trend line support. But will it reverse tomorrow? If it reverses tomorrow or this week, then you can take that as a trend line reversal, right? But until then, this trend line is not yet valid. I want another reversal to happen, and then maybe this trend line is valid. Okay, but for now, yeah, it might reverse. If it forms a green candle, then you can go ahead, or just keep a simple buy above this point. To be safer, just buy above that point. It's around 732, 735, right? And your stop will be around 690. Okay, so that's my view on Gujarat Gas. Sorry, I missed the chat. Yeah, IDBI Bank is the other one. Yeah, IDBI Bank is just going sideways, so it's an inverted head and shoulders. But probably I look at this only above this point. Okay, until then I don't even invest in stocks which are going so long sideways. It's completely no for me, because they might continue the trend again. Okay, so Rajesh, I hope you answered. Masood, view on GM Fodler. Yeah, this also has just been going sideways, right? I've drawn something, it has broken down from the trend line. I just remove all of this. Yeah, it's just been going sideways since months, so just a consolidation maybe. Probably there is a trend line here. Okay, not yet. So it might go sideways for some more time, but it looks like it's reversing right now. So this week the volumes have been good, and this is a very good support zone, right? So you can probably even enter now and keep a stop around 4,000 odd levels. Okay, but looking at the volumes this week, just wait for a confirmation next week, see if it reverses. But the trend is completely sideways. No, Prakash, you should not be averaging in a stock like BSOFT. Let it move higher, then average. Take a position, but don't average it yet until it moves higher, right? Because suddenly, if it reverses and it breaks its channel, then you're in trouble. Rhodes is asking right time to enter Whirlpool. Yes, it looks like. Yeah, probably the channel might be wrong because now it has violated the channel, but it looks like we have a reversal week this week, and it looks like we have reversed from this support zone. Okay, so it could be a good time to add. Just keep a stop around the previous swing low. Your stop loss should be around 1900 odd. Okay, 19,900 odd. Not a perfect trend line. I don't like such cheap trend lines. So yeah, just follow swing high, swing low for stop loss. Okay, next question is Bankoni had an island gap. I don't know what is an island gap. Took a small position and sitting with decent profit, struggling with pyramiding level as there was a gap. I just know a gap, Christian, to be honest. I know the concept of island gap, but I know that it has to form a kind of a doji candle. I don't see island gap here. Are you talking about this? I have no idea. But right now, if you want a pyramid, I would not pyramid. I'd wait for a consolidation like this, a consolidation like this or this, and then add more. And if you want to understand my consolidation, how do I pyramid, just go back to the previous videos, you'll understand. But right now I would not pyramid. Probably if it consolidates for 3-4 more days, and then when it comes higher about 220, then I will add more. Okay. Would you consider Brigade as multi-breakout despite just 2 touch points at the horizontal all-time high breakout? Shendi is asking, though Nukovo data is less, do you have any view on that? Okay, let's look at Brigade. Yes, I would not consider that as it's an all-time high breakout because it's crossed all-time high, but this is a channel, right? So it's looking like a channel to me. I'm not sure which channel would be. So this is probably one of the channels that you can draw. There can be multiple ways you draw channels. You could be draw this as one of the channels. So that's why I don't rely on channels really, as I always say. But if you see that a channel probably is breaking out here, I would consider this as a better channel here because this could be another point here, right? So this could be the channel, and yeah, we have kind of broken out all-time high, and it could be a good breakout. Okay, so multi-breakout means just it has to cross all-time highs, but if it has multiple touch points, then it's a good really all-time high breakout. Okay, Nuvuko. Okay, so I don't have much data, as you said. Okay, I'm just switching to the hourly charts. So that's how I analyze if there's no data. So on hourly charts, yes, it does look good. It just needs to close above that high, right? So then you can probably get a good entry. Keep your stop around 550. If you already entered, then your stop should have been around 540. But if you're entering now, then you can enter above that high, all-time high, and keep a stop around 550 odd. Okay, so if you don't have much data, then start looking at hourly charts. But just remember that the chances of you hitting a stop loss is much, much higher on the hourly charts because the trend lines are very short-term trend lines. So they are bound to fail most of the times. Okay, can you get a momentum strategy of short-term 3 to 4, 5 days? Rumit, no, I don't have any momentum strategy of 3, 4, 5 days. I'm not the right person, to be honest. Prakash Singh was reading about hedging for positioning. Should we consider hedging using stocks? No, I don't do hedging, Prakash. Again, not a person that you should not be asking me. Probably someone else who's expert in options. Uh, Someone is saying, and I'm still in Gravita as I didn't hit my stop loss on closing basis. Its setup looks good, Suman. So it looks really good. It just is it's just about time before it breaks out, right? So it is just consolidating. It hasn't made a lower high, lower low. It's still forming a higher high low. Setup still looks good. You can hold. It's also closing. It's also close to a multi-high breakout, right? So it's just about time it breaks out. So this month it kind of tried crossing, it couldn't. So just have some patience. If it breaks out, it will be a really good trade. It's just about a matter of time. Okay. Hey Aditi, good evening. Okay, Vijay is saying symmetrical triangles, multi breakouts, breakout rectangular pattern, inverted head and shoulders, cup and handle seem to be good opportunities. Any relative preference or ranking among these? So inverted head and shoulders are the best breakouts, especially if they are over many years or over many months. Rectangular patterns are my second best setups, and then probably cup and handle. Symmetrical triangle is not my pattern, because symmetrical triangles can morph or change its shape into an ascending triangle, or it can change, like we just saw one stock, I forgot the name, it started with B. It can change its shape because it's so contracting, it can go to the previous high and come back down. So then that triangle becomes a rectangle, right? So I don't really trust in symmetrical triangle setups. I might take a trade, but I will not expect to be a very good move, and the moves sometimes can go and can fail as well. Okay. So that's my view. Aegis Logistics, that's the last question I'll be taking. Aegis Logistics. Yeah, the monthly charts looks good. Daily charts, it's in a strong short-term downtrend. In fact, it has broken a very key support. I would not be invested in this stock, to be honest. It has broken all kinds of trend lines. It is just going down. And also on the weekly charts, it has broken a swing low here. It has broken this strong support here. So I don't be invested in such stocks. It's not, in this market, you can't be looking at these stocks. You're just wasting your capital. You're just wasting the opportunity cost. You're just having a high opportunity cost. So yeah, you should not be in this for now, at least. Okay, so I think I've answered all of your questions. Finishing 3 minutes early. Going forward, let's try to keep it 30 minutes probably, and we'll also stick to probably 2 questions per person, 2 stocks per person, and that's how it will be going forward. So that I'll try to answer more strategy questions in that time, and then we can look at stocks. But as I said, only 2 stocks per person. And the reason is we are every time around 30, 35, and sometimes it goes beyond 45 minutes. It's just beyond my capacity as well. So I hope you understand that. And yeah, this weekend we'll have the newsletter coming out on Sunday. So if you haven't subscribed to the newsletter, then don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter. And also we'll have the stock video coming out tomorrow for the last week's newsletter. Again, don't forget to watch that video. You'll understand really how I analyze long-term charts and how I pick stocks even when we had that couple of weeks of panic in the small cap and mid caps, right? There are still very good opportunities in the market. If you're willing to get out of the losing stocks and move to the winning stocks, then there are always opportunities for you. So I am planning to watch Money Heist. I love that series. Suman, yes, I hope all of you also watch Money Heist, and we can discuss that on Monday. Okay, but no spoilers on Monday. But I think, yeah, that's one of on my agenda for this weekend. But otherwise, have a nice weekend, and I hope to see you again next Monday. Okay, and as usual, stick to winning stocks, get out of losing stocks, and trade safe. Wear a helmet even in trading. It's very important for your portfolio, right? That's the risk management. So trade safe and have a nice weekend. I'll see you back on Monday. Thank you. Bye bye.